Hello and welcome to the Minutes Network AMA. Today, the 31st of March 2026, marks the close of Q1, and this session is an opportunity to reflect on what Minutes Network has delivered over the course of the quarter, as well as what lies immediately ahead. Q1 has been a quarter of meaningful execution. Across the business, we have continued to advance live traffic, deepen carrier interconnections, and expand into new markets. At the same time, the Mintet stack has continued to strengthen with intelligent routing analytics and network infrastructure operating against live traffic and supporting the foundations of scale. Today, we'll walk through what has been achieved, what is already live, and what is coming next as we move into Q2, including further Jingle expansion, continued market growth, and Minutes Network exchange, and the broader rollout of the platform. I'm joined today by Josh Watkins, the CEO of Minutes Network. So Josh, over to you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Pleasure to be here as always. What a wonderful introduction indeed. So we have been working very, very hard, and we're very happy with what we see at Minutes Network. The partners are also very happy. I'm going to waste no time and dive directly into a look back at what we've done during Q1. And we'll finish up with a quick look into what we'll be doing in Q2. We will be taking live questions. We'll be taking all questions. If we see questions in the communities or from the partners, we will pick those up along the way. So let's start with team and resources. We'll cover everything quite quickly. If you have any questions, please do make notes, and you are welcome to ask them live, or you can ask them in the communities. If I take too much time on one particular subject, I feel that we'll be here for hours and hours, and we have a very, very busy schedule with it being the end of the month and so many great things happening. So team and resources. We have hired more development team. During Q1, we hired more developers. We have a couple that are still onboarding from all over the world, I'm proud to say. We're very inclusive at Minutes Network. We appreciate everybody. And we're very proud of those developers. They're making great progress. They're helping our CTO. We're trying to obviously support our CTO as much as possible. He has one of the hardest jobs in the company to get everything sort of together and delivered on time. But he's doing an amazing job. It's a guy that I know for perhaps 20 years now, 17 years now. Wonderful guy indeed. We're very proud of him. Perhaps he'll come up on one of these calls one day soon. So we've hired some more developers, and we have fast execution with the help of AI. When AI is utilized properly, it does allow for much faster execution. It's not utilized all over the company. There are specific areas that the CTO forbids it to be used, such as production services, production servers, anything with a production database, anything that touches finance or networking. But for planning and design and reviews and audits, etc., it's pretty helpful, and we're seeing things move very quickly with the help of AI. So we're very proud to say that we are making use of the latest technologies available. We have some new key account managers that are being onboarded today. We are expecting significant growth in both the onboarding of new interconnections and the existing interconnections traffic on the network, right? We do see massive growth in the horizon, very, very close by. The Jingle commercial team, we've been expanding the Jingle commercial team with a sort of different modus operandi, an expanded modus operandi, so that we can onboard all of the various types of possibilities for the Jingle expansion possible in the year ahead. So I'll touch on Jingle very shortly. I know it's an extremely exciting subject. It's exciting for me and us too. It's everything that we've been working towards, amongst other great things. Let's move to network and traffic growth. We've had a lot of all-time highs during Q1. In February, we saw 650,000 plus incoming calls. We saw more than 700,000 users on the platform. And we saw more than 1 million, or nearly a million and a quarter minutes terminated in a single week. So it's been a very, very busy period. Our interconnected partners want more, of course, and we are just about to open those floodgates. Now, before we arrive there, we should look at some of the other growth. Country level records have been set in Uganda, Mexico, Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Oman, Ireland, Turkey, UK, and many more countries. We have 30 plus countries on the Explorer. This was a milestone that was achieved at the end of last year. It's continuing to grow, of course. There are many more countries on the way in the weeks ahead. Pakistan, very stable. We're impressed with the stability. We love the partners that we're working with. Massive scale still to come. It's moving at pace. We are, in the stage of production traffic, and we're expecting to reach new heights, especially with what I'm about to tell you regarding Jingle. So, Turkey, we see Turkey as a growing destination, a lot of possibility. It's one of the top 5 destinations on the switches, and that happened very, very quickly. I think that was overnight as it went live. So a lot of room for growth in Turkey. There's a lot of traffic to Turkey with a decent rate as well. Malaysia, very stable. It's growing. We do see a plan to release Jingle in Malaysia very soon. We do have an immediate focus on Pakistan and Nigeria, but I'll tell you about those shortly. Albania, we have, except from the local applications that we've got ready to launch, which actually cover a decent portion of the population in terms of the 10% that was discussed. We do have a plan to do frequent callee onboarding there as well. The rate in Albania is very high. We are looking to increase traffic volumes. We're careful about increasing traffic volumes because it has a cash flow, an impact on cash flow. Okay, some providers, give us post-pay. Some providers demand prepay. It all depends on the rate. It all depends on the margin. It all depends on the relationship. So we manage our cash flow accordingly. And, we mustn't increase too fast in any particular country unless Jingle is enabled. When Jingle is enabled, it's a completely different story. It's, obviously the more percentage of the country we have using Jingle, the better, because that means we're collecting more and more revenue and bringing that revenue directly home. So SMS, we see SMS increasing internally. I believe that will reflect on production switches in the near future. We just want to make sure that it's stable. We are routing SMS for a number of providers. We're also using our SMS turbine to get the most out of the traffic we're sending. A $251 billion market, and the opportunity is massive, right? So we're looking to steer as much traffic towards Minutes Network as possible. Obviously, the voice over IP exchange that we are working on now, catering for numbers, data, voice, and SMS will help immensely. And you'll see the reflection of that in Q2. I think very early Q2, perhaps before the end of April. I'd like to hope and think so. Obviously, as you know, we haven't been waiting around for applications, even though we have some massive applications in agreement. We execute in parallel with carrier onboarding and partner onboarding in order to fire up the Jingle engine. So, events. In terms of events, we visited Capacity Middle East in Dubai. We had about 50 meetings over there. We secured new traffic. We spoke with existing partners. Pretty good, very, very needed to keep in touch and discuss the new opportunities and look at the existing opportunities and to bring new interconnections on board for what's ahead. We laid the groundwork for the launch of the exchange. A lot of these shows we will be pitching the exchange at with a stand in the near future. MWC Barcelona 26, we attended. I personally attended that event. It was a fantastic event. Always a fantastic event. A lot of mobile partners over there, a lot of carriers, a lot of interconnections, being picked out of the crowd by members of or employees of different voice companies and SMS companies. I mean, it feels great. We're definitely growing. We feel a presence at these conferences. And people like to talk to us, right? We're doing innovative new things in the industry that previously haven't been done. And as I've previously said on previous events, there's a lot of room for that because, there's a lot of people that are very happy making the money that they're making, that they've been making for the last 30 odd years. And they don't need to improve anything because everything's working perfectly, right? So companies like Minutes Network are more than welcomed in these, in this industry, and innovation is key for us. It's all about innovative revenue generation and innovative revenue reinvigoration for existing large carriers and small carriers as well. So there is ITW in Washington during Q2, up and coming. There is Buenos Aires WWC in Q2. We have Madrid WWC in Q3 and Capacity Europe in London Q4. Wherever we're pitching the voice exchange post end of April, let's say, we will have a live feed for the communities, for the partners to sort of engage with us and join us on the stand on those days, right? And we'll have a microphone. I don't know how much you'll hear because obviously they're very busy, these conferences, but it will be nice. It will be a nice way to tune in live to, watch Minutes Network in action. We do get a lot of queries regarding this exchange from our existing partners. Some of them have already agreed to utilize the exchange, and some of them are already testing the voice engines behind the exchange. So, super exciting. Now, moving on, we have a new website. It should most likely be out by the end of this week. It's a new carrier-facing minutesnetwork.io website. The platform positions Minutes Network as a full stack telecommunications operator. We have various sub-platforms like MinTest, offering testing of 190 plus destinations with CLI and FAS and blend detection, and whether it's SMS or whether it's voice. We also offer capacity CLI detection. What does that mean? Well, CLI detection is widely offered in the industry, but you could test one port CLI and end up with, one port that was CLI and 29 that aren't. We offer a solution that sort of offers hundreds of ports simultaneously being tested for CLI. Very, very useful for the tier ones and tier twos out there and MNOs who actually have requirements to deliver correct CLI in Europe and in many other Western countries. We'll be offering a free trial. There'll be a few test calls offered. You'll be able to see more on that platform when it's launched. It's being tested right now by some of the partners. They're very, very happy. We have a lot of contracts on the table, some of them bigger than others. Our competitors are the likes of iTest, Bluegem, etc. Many competitors in the space. But we're offering services that they don't have. So we're going to find ourselves, providing them with services B2B that then they can offer to their customers. So it's really nice. Going back to innovation there, we just have that innovative touch when we deliver. MinCloud Switch, right? So we're using all of the switch infrastructure that we have in the exchange, and we're offering hundreds of millions of concurrent sessions with massive uptime, obviously, because these switches are located all around the world and they all fail over onto each other. So we're able to offer a cloud switch unlike any other provider out there today. And it's not just any cloud switch, it's a cloud switch that's integrated into the telecom exchange itself. You can take DIDs, direct in with dial numbers and virtual numbers on the fly. In 100 countries, you can plug into various SMS routes, ones that we're offering, ones that the public are offering and listing. Obviously, instant settlement, right? Plugging into voice routes. That there's data transit being supported in IoT. We're looking at MVNO enablement as well. Obviously, with our partners at World Mobile, we can talk about 600 plus networks, and that offer is absolutely massive for those who run MVNOs, because we're able to offer additional roaming agreements on the fly. And there's a really nice bit of technology there coming out of World Mobile that we're able to add to the exchange. So rich media communications like RCS, OTT integration, secure communications, end-to-end encrypted voice and messaging at a really sort of high level, zero knowledge connections and zero knowledge voice via the blockchain. also very, very interesting. CPaaS, it's a CPaaS platform. It's a unified communications platform, fully programmable. It allows you to access various features of the network and our partnering networks, including voice and SMS, and all of the different APIs for data, CLI testing, as I mentioned, SMS, CLI and sender ID testing, as well as content checking. So we also have a Stir and Shaken license that we acquired during Q1 under WMMN in the States. That is massive. I don't know if we have Alex here on the call, but he's been working with some very important members of the UK telecommunications scene in order to implement that facility in the UK, which would make Minutes Network one of the only, I don't want to say the only, but I think it might be the only provider of modern call center solutions in the UK via IP. Perhaps I should add regulated modern call center solutions provider via IP. So that regulation's coming in soon. We are completely regulated in that manner, and we are following up with our partners under WMMN to ensure that that is delivered. Yeah, Alex, if you're on the call and you'd like to say a few words, please don't hesitate to request to speak on that one. Obviously, we do provide Wangiri protection. We provide protection against PBX fraud and hacking. We also provide SIM gateway detection and a general fraud toolkit. So all of that information will be on the Minutes Network website. You'll be able to look into all of the different services that we offer, that we've built. And it's really an immense array of services. There isn't a telco out there that we can't cater for. So we're expecting to get a lot of new contracts with this new public-facing website up, and we're expecting to be able to expand the existing Explorer into all of these sub-niches within the industry. They all make up, the $251 billion industry. Obviously, there will be components of that $251 billion that we don't cater for, but we'll be looking into the larger ones that we might not be ready to cater for in time. We do have the expectation to expand as a business, and we know personally what each year is going to look like. With terrific projections in place, I can tell you that we're all ecstatic about what's happening. And I love to say it, I am literally on the edge of my seat as I tell you this. If we had a video camera, you'd probably be smiling because I'm literally on the edge of my seat. The flywheel, okay? What is the flywheel? Well, it's traffic in. We own the interconnects, okay? The LDI, for example, in Pakistan, we identify frequent callees where Jingle onboards them with the partner's help. We collect 99.9 or 99% margin because we have to pay for the bandwidth and the switching costs, right? Which is a negligible cost, by the way. It's the other 1% or 0. Whatever percent. We offer carriers better rates, and the carriers send more traffic, and we repeat the process, and we repeat this in many countries. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you the name of the carrier that we're working with in order to onboard these minutes, but I can tell you that it's the largest carrier in the Middle East, and they do have more than 100 million minutes per month to very expensive destinations that we will be looking to onboard with them with Jingle, and they will be looking to onboard with us with Jingle, right? Because they will have had success from Pakistan. So it's all about Jingle Pakistan. Where do we stand? You will see the traffic live on the Explorer. Dare I say, in the coming hours. Internally, we already see that traffic moving. We see the campaign numbers about to start ramping up massively. Obviously, we've done our tests, we've done our conversion tests. Everything has already been checked and double checked, right? We're in a very luxurious position when it comes to Jingle. And we do expect in the next 24 hours that you will see that data on the Explorer. It would have been already put online. You would have seen it already, but we are very, very busy internally, and we don't have room to rush and make mistakes. Okay, so every action that we do is a calculated action, as best we can. And it's an action that will not interrupt live traffic or disrupt carrier experiences. Let me just tell you, when traffic is disrupted, if it's on a Friday, you're not getting it back until the Monday, okay? And if traffic is disrupted last thing at night, it's gone until the next day, okay? That doesn't matter who you are, where you're sending, who you're receiving from. It is relationship based, but people don't want their live customer calls going to dead air, God forbid, or rejecting and not having a backup route in place, right? So we're very careful with live traffic. We measure every single movement of live traffic. Obviously, our job here is to reinvigorate carrier margins to the point that carriers want to continue sending more and more traffic, and that's exactly how Jingle is going to work in Pakistan. I am extremely excited to see that live on the Explorer. This does mark a major milestone in Minutes Network's lifetime and life cycle, but it's only the beginning. I can tell you that there'll be another 100 countries where we implement Jingle with the carrier partners, with the various applications that are already in the various states of integration. In countries like Albania, it will be sooner rather than later. The same for Jamaica, the same for Nigeria. So these are massive countries with massive amounts of traffic. And what an opportunity. What a great time to be alive. Every termination market potentially for us becomes a callee acquisition opportunity, right? We do have a couple of tricks as well. I call them tricks. They are amazing commercial opportunities that we've prepared. Omri talked about one of them in our last call, how he would be onboarding a new type of Jingle user in a new way. We have a couple of more of these. One of them is called Jingle Boost, and I won't talk about the third today. I'll let it happen naturally. You'll see the release of that in the South American region, with a massive focus in South America. Countries like Ecuador, El Salvador, Paraguay, Argentina are just massive for us. So related to calling cards. So we'll be challenging the calling card industry with the help of Jingle very, very soon, and you will see more on that in the official announcements made, and we'll discuss it in upcoming events. Now, wholesale and Jingle are not separate. These are two sides of the same flywheel. Obviously, for us to bring in wholesale traffic is very important because we grow the frequent callee potential and footprint for those countries. And at the same time, Jingle is equally, if not more important, because that increases the margin that we're able to take, and then we're able to give the carrier sending the traffic a better price, and then they're able to send even more traffic, right? So it's a sort of win-win that sort of propels each other at this stage. We're not really focused on domestic yet. The exchange will cater for domestic traffic. The margins are a little bit lower, although it is interesting. I think, we'll touch on domestic in the near future. As Jingle grows, we'll have a look at it. For now, wholesale and Jingle are everything for the voice side of things. Looking at Mintech and the products and technology suite that we've been developing with our partners, we said that we'd provide industry access in Q1 for the MRT, the Revenue Turbine, and that's exactly what we've done. We have a lot of our interconnections exploring the platform as we speak, and we'll have a lot more in the coming weeks and months. That platform is a CLI-based platform. The graphical content is minimal. It's made for internal NOCs and sort of switch engineers to be able to increase the revenue and the amount of efficiency that goes into their routing, least cost routing tables. And that's the same for SMS and voice. In terms of the Flexible Connect, obviously with it being live in Pakistan, and enabling the route management, we're very proud of that opportunity. The Flexible Connect isn't just Jingle. It allows calls to connect over any architecture and any protocol. What's special about it is normally a call will go from PSTN to PSTN, right? That's public switching telephony network to the PSTN. Or it will go from SIP to the PSTN or PSTN to SIP. And it's kind of limited. The amount of protocols that you can sort of interoperate the connectivity of is very much limited. But the MFC, the Mintech Flexible Connect, enables you to connect PSTN to data. It enables you to connect data to PSTN, as well as analog connections. I mean, if you had an old school phono cable, I don't know if you guys, the red and white, often red and white colored cables, or just an audio jack, you could also connect the calls via those cables as well. Now, I'll let you wonder why we might be doing that, because in today's world, those cables are usually out of use for such technologies. But I can tell you that copper wires are another one. We're able to connect calls directly over copper wires. This is very interesting on a large carrier level. We'll have a look at challenging some of the larger providers in the hardware industry on this side in the near future. I think a great deal of work has gone into the MFC over the last years, really over the last decade, and it's all the knowledge that me and my brother Mickey have sort of collected in the industry over the last decade when it comes to voice and SMS in some cases. So I'm really proud of the MFC Flexible Connect toolkit. It's amazing. We wouldn't have Jingle without it, and super good. There's a lot of use cases. Caller ID and route verification toolkit. I touched on that talking about Mintest earlier in this session. We're very proud of Mintest. We will make an announcement on Mintest close to the launch of the voice exchange. I don't know whether it will be after or before. It's like the voice exchange, but it's not quite as complex. It's solely aimed at people who would like to test for fast, test for blending, test for CLI, test for, and that will be a retail and wholesale proposition. We do have a few testers right now doing QA. I have one gentleman, he's about 70 years old, but I think he's got more energy than me. He flies around the world nonstop, always at every single conference. He knows every single person in the industry. He's a good friend of World Mobile as well. And he's just, he's built for commercial, commercial ventures, right? So really looking forward to signing on more partners to use Mintest, and that will drive the exchange forward as well. Looking at the components, including AI integration, we have some proprietary purpose-built components for the exchange. We're using AI in the revenue turbines, and we're also using it in the Flexible Connect, as well as a lot of the dashboards and health monitoring that we're doing. We're actually looking back and, wondering why we didn't have AI at those times. I mean, it's really improved over the last couple of years, and especially in the last 8 to 12 months, and especially in the last 6 months, right? So we're looking back and integrating on where we can on existing solutions and sort of improving the quality and effectiveness of management of the output and reports, especially health-related reports of these systems using AI. We found ourselves replacing Knox, people that we pay $2,000-$3,000 a month to, in shifts to cover 24 hours on our switches, right? Obviously, we keep our head Knox, but AI is really the future, especially in telco, and I don't think it's quite used to its full extent yet. But Minutes Network are changing that. All of our infrastructure is full class compatible. We're compatible with all protocols. We plug in to standard industry RFC compliant protocols, and all of our implementations are fully RFC compliant as well. Everything is open source internally. We will look at open sourcing some of the toolkits in the near future, especially with the release of the exchange, because we would like to see developers take full advantage of the APIs offered via that exchange and via Minutes Network itself as well. So, last but not least, on technology and products, we also have a call center sort of traffic dialer, if you will. It's a way to launch campaigns directly over routes that sit on the exchange. Typically, that's not available on the internet today. You can get call center routes, they are available, but there are various qualities. And with our automated quality testing toolkit from Mintest, we're providing only the best, so call centers can really rely on us. And I think you'll hear more about that in the future, especially with Cloudonics, our partner. We'll look to integrate that solution with them, and they have a wonderful set of customers. Perhaps we can help them ramp up their commercial operation as well. The API I mentioned. Let's talk about the API. It is full stack. It's a telecommunications API aimed at the developers from all industries, not just from the voice or SMS or data industries. This is coming in Q2 with the launch of the exchange. It is fully MCP compatible. For those of you who know what that is, we are one of the first, I think we are the first provider in the industry to offer a totally MCP compatible full stack telecommunications API. People are racing towards the target, but I think with the plethora of options and API endpoints that we offer there, I think we will be the industry leader in that. That's my own personal feeling, and I hope so, because we put in a lot of work. The API is already live. It's already being tested. It's not for public consumption just yet, but the audience will be developers and platforms and services integrating telecommunications capabilities and data capabilities. That includes data transit. Companies that offer proxies, etc., will also be included. Okay, so if you look at it, it's a sort of one unified capability under voice, SMS, numbers, and data. Obviously, it will include voice origination and termination, SMS origination and termination, number provisioning, renting and providing international local numbers. Whether you are selling a route or buying a route, there is a position for you. Whether you are a developer, an individual, a call center owner, an engineer, a wholesaler, a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 operator, an MVNO, I mean, this exchange is for you. We cater for the entire audience, and it is positioned as a single unified product layer. We've been working very hard in Q1 on this, and as I said, we are looking to release this in very early Q2. I do hope in April. We'll get it out as early as possible during April, and we'll make those shows, and we'll get that camera up, and you can join us on the stand. Now, the Minutes Network Explorer, there was an update. It will be updated again. We will be adding to the buy bot on the Explorer, we will be adding the amount of payments that have been settled, as well as the amount of payments that are already in hand for the deep in service fees, right? So that way we can have a clear separation and say, okay, this amount is in hand, this amount is invoiced and waiting to be paid, and this is the amount paid, right? So we'll have a lot more information when it comes to the buy bot on the Minutes Network Explorer, as well as information on the exchange endpoints, more details on SMS, and of course, as Jingle ramps up, we will see more and more countries go live with the according percentages on Jingle as well, directly on the Explorer. We'll be starting with Pakistan, Nigeria, Jamaica, and Albania. You can expect to see Pakistan, as I said earlier in this call, within the next 24 hours. I'd like to say that we can get it to you today. If it's not today, it will be early doors tomorrow. So now, there is a feature on the Explorer that allows you to connect your wallet, okay, to have a look at some of the analytics and related to the engines your validation or switch might be running. That will become available as soon as possible. There are some Web3 components that we are not responsible for, that we are waiting for the developers of MNT for. As soon as that is done, it will be integrated. It's definitely not going to be months. We're probably looking at days to weeks, realistically, and we're rushing that process along because the data you can see is fascinating, especially for someone that doesn't understand or hasn't seen what a telco switch might, the data that a telco switch might produce, especially our switches, because we have a lot more data than a regular switch has. With a massive focus on health checks and sort of data integrity, and with Jingle being online, I mean it's a really serious time to see that data. So it's come just in time. The telco exchange, obviously, I gave you a rundown on that. I think it's a game changer. Okay, I think it's a game changer for the industry, for our partners, for Jingle. We'll be selling Jingle on that exchange. There'll be specific Jingle integrated routes that you can come and buy. We'll also be selling various other solutions, as well as the ability to test your routes via our partnering services. So, really excited for that to launch. And finishing up on the exchange, obviously carrier partnerships and interconnections. I did mention that during Q1, we have visited a couple of conferences. We're often, having meetings in various places around the world. We have today Vlad in Uganda. Vlad has just set up a deal with Ivory Coast, I think Orange in Ivory Coast, and he's just making a deal in Gambia with some partners in Gambia as well. Massive rate in both countries and a really big opportunity to bring traffic on with an eye to onboarding Jingle in the near future. We do have a lot of interconnections, especially if we count those by proxy, because obviously one interconnection opens up more interconnections because you automatically connect, with your partner's switch or your interconnection switch, and now you have access to all of their interconnections as well, right? So if we were to look at it by proxy, I mean, there are thousands of interconnections by proxy worldwide. If we look at it directly, perhaps we have 50 plus as it stands today, and commercial agreements are in place, carriers are sending traffic, calls are connecting, revenues being generated with an eye to sort of, the mass scale of Jingle. That's really what it's all about. Some of the interconnections we haven't mentioned on the website. I've been asked by the likes of Charlie Springle and Alex not to mention specific carriers on the website, and that's because we don't want our competition to always know everybody that we work with in the industry, especially at this special stage in Minutes Network's lifetime. So there are a lot of connections that are not on the new website. I mean, the existing ones that we've talked about are there. We've added a couple of new ones, but not all of the interconnections that we are, that we've made during Q1 and before are on the website. Moving forward, SEW. During Q1, the commitment remains unchanged. We are still on track. It is a complex integration. As I said previously, I don't think they're rushing this integration. They do have the Jingle SDK source code. They have the GitHub repos. It's been exchanged. They do have the special inbound call center solutions that we built so that their support team and teams could call their customers over the internet rather than paying for a telephone bill. So, I mean, they have all of that. We are waiting. SEW does represent potential access to more than 1 billion users. It is an absolutely life-changing and game-changing opportunity for me and the company and the partners and for those involved. That being said, we're pushing, we're waiting, and we're pushing, right? It really will happen. I don't believe it will take forever. I would like it to have happened yesterday or last year, but we need to be patient, and we're not sitting around waiting for any single partnership, right? We execute on what's in front of us, and we make sure that the flywheel moves, and we're in the best commercial position we could possibly be in, and we're not reliant upon any individual or single third party in order to actually grow and scale to become a serious force in this $250 billion industry, and that's on purpose, right? We could say we're waiting, and instead of that we actually take initiative, and we ensure that we have multiple roads to revenue rather than just one, so that we can follow them all at the same time. It's a more sure mechanism for delivery. The same with the UK gaming company. They are very excited. They do want the final demonstration. We are waiting to deliver that demonstration. I do believe Omri is on the call. I had a call with the team that are delivering the demonstration today. I have another call with them tomorrow. We're talking about the timeframes. I'll be able to give you more information on that. But during Q1, that has been worked on very, passionately by the team. The demonstration does incorporate most of the mechanisms that Jingle can deliver a call, and it will be available publicly for you to experience on the Play Store. As I told you in the last call, we do have a Jingle demo that's live now on the Play Store, but it's technical. It's a technical demo, not a consumer-facing demo. This demonstration is built for consumers, it's built for developers, it's built for partners, it's built for third-party applications, and it will cover SMS as well, like the UK gaming company wants. So next steps to follow, we will announce more information on that as soon as it's ready. Boss Revolution, we are looking forward to getting them integrated. Obviously, they're a massive application. We're still all thumbs up, and during Q1 we've made some big pushes ahead. They do want the demonstration, not only so that they can understand, this is a telco company, right? It's a very serious telco company, and they would like it primarily so that they can understand the implementation manners and the way that this can be integrated, right? Examples are one thing, demonstration, a fully featured demonstration is another thing. And we do have a new Jingle plugin website that's just about to be released. We are doing final QA on that website. There is a new documentation set. The demo will be included on the website, and it really sort of covers every single area and every single way that Jingle can be incorporated within an application or with the other means that I mentioned to you, like Jingle Boost and the concept that Omri discussed, as well as the calling card concept I hinted at earlier. The deployment status of Pakistan, as I told you, we're in a very good position. In the next 24 hours, you will see numbers start to tick up. I think it might take another 4 to 5 days to get it actually, at sort of full pace. We are pushing it as hard as we possibly can. The partners do want this. Everybody's aligned. All of the boxes are ticked. All of the T's are crossed and all of the I's are dotted. We are in a good position. We just need, to see it at full pace with the amount of customers that are onboarded sort of ramping up as quickly as possible so that we can cater for more calls and connect them. We do need a couple more days, but you'll see the initial movement live on the Explorer in the next 24 hours. And as I said, major milestone for us as a company. The frequent callee identification model during Q1, we've worked on that. We have a really nice sort of semi-intelligent platform that feeds us with the data regarding that identification of those frequent callees based on the hybrid sort of hyperscale model that we communicated towards the end of last year. It is a partner-driven model. It's all based on the traffic that comes to the system, and it's all based on the wholesale traffic and international traffic that we receive. Of course, we identify those frequent callees in that method with the help of local providers and local carriers and local partners. We then onboard where possible and where feasible. We are looking at millions of minutes a month for Jingle in the immediate future. We'd like to get there as soon as possible. Obviously, those millions of minutes have immense value for us as a company. They will set us apart from the everyday company in voice over IP or in telco. And you will see that as we grow. You will see the sort of trendsetters in the industry. We will become a household name, and we will become more and more known in the space. We already feel pretty known when we arrive at these conferences. As I told you, we get a great reception from most. Excuse me, guys, just receiving an incoming call on the device I'm using. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? Jingle actually caters for those incoming calls. When you're in the middle of a phone call, it won't disconnect your phone call, or it won't disconnect your game from the screen that it's on. Instead, it will pass the call passively to the screen and give you the option. And one of the additions that Omri provided actually was the option to reply via AI using text as well. So really exciting. It's obviously a 99% margin play or more. There are no third-party termination fees when callees are using Jingle. The Hello Mobile application, we're not far now. You'll see that live on the Play Store. We do not need it for Jingle Pakistan to launch because we are not centralizing onboarding of the frequent callees under one application. It is an optional application, but it does provide outbound calls as well to those users as an additional incentive for the install, which is pretty interesting because there's a lot of retail revenue to be made there as well. Normally, to onboard a retail user to your outbound calling application, it's very expensive. The advertising is very expensive, and you don't know about the retention rate of those users. So if you look at the cost and retention rate, you end up with a very large sum. Plus, you don't know how much money they're going to spend on top ups. Here, you have the outbound calling, and we get the advertising for free. Let's say during the advertising of the frequent callees application that has Jingle embedded. So it's really quite a nice win-win there. It's a passive win, let's say, for us at Minutes Network. Jingle Boost, I did touch on. We expect significant adoption. We do have lists of artists, influencers, musicians, and general sort of, I would say, internet savvy influencers that have very large TikTok and Instagram and Discords. And Jingle Boost has every chance in the world to tip us over that 10% in many countries, especially small countries. We've put a massive effort in Jamaica. We've put a massive effort in Kosovo and Albania. Why those countries? Well, they're very small. The rate's very high. And if you look at Jamaica, it's one of the most influential countries in the world when it comes to music. A lot of people there are listening to music. So we've been speaking to local artists for a very long time, and they're very excited to begin. So we have an application. You can see more at jingleboost.com about that application and what it does. I just need to make a note here. Apologies. Okay, so the Jingle plugin is in a good position. We haven't really done much development during Q1 because it was already developed at the I'm so sorry, guys. Just 1 second. It was already finished in development, so it's not like we've consistently worked throughout Q1 on the plugin development. But what we have done is we have been working on the way that Jingle plugin can be integrated into the various applications. We've also been looking at web applications, which is a very interesting application for or application method for Jingle as a plugin. The SDK itself will use WebRTC in the web, and we're looking at enabling websites in different ways to utilize this technology. And I won't go into much depth on that right now, but it's something that we can do. The Flexible Connect allows that to happen, and it mustn't be ignored because nobody else is doing it in the industry right now, and it will be detailed on our website. So, in terms of additional partnerships and expansion during Q1, we made a formal deal with a company that represents or has a partnership with the government of Liberia. Very interesting country, massive rate, lots of traffic going to Liberia. That company are working alongside the government on a national digital employment platform. That platform acts as a centralized infrastructure for workforce participation across the country, and if any users are seeking work, any individuals are seeking work, that's the platform that they will use under a government launch, right? Jingle will be integrated directly into that national infrastructure, and roughly 2/3 of the population are under 30 years old. So it's a large, young, digitally engaged user base. And they'll be onboarded into Jingle through system level integration that's sort of advertised by the government and subsidized by the government. So obviously the local company in Liberia are very excited about that. There will be announcements and press releases on that, as well as perhaps we can bring them to an AMA or an event in the near future as well. The adoption obviously is driven by infrastructure, not by marketing or user acquisition from our side. and Jingle endpoints that enter the network will be at scale via the single government integration, as well as frequent callee onboarding as well. So that could be a massive win for us. Liberia could be absolutely enormous in the near future. It's a strategic shift towards institution-backed, nationally scaled integrations. We do have that running in Nigeria as well, although it's extremely slow. And I must tell you that the team we're working with in Liberia are extremely fast and relentless. And we like teams that are relentless like us. So that is a Q2 milestone, but it was prepared during Q1. SMS is set to expand during Q2 as well, as I mentioned, with the rollout of the exchange, as well as the rollout of the Jingle demo that provides different SMS capabilities, as well as the APIs that are being offered from the Minutes Network website and the exchange as well. So we are looking at an SMS expansion. Our rates completely, will completely beat any retail SMS provider out there that offers OTP. That there'll be no competition, right? We're talking to industry partners, the people that offer SMS, OTP, etc. today. They're offering it on a retail level. It's extremely expensive, and we will be a major competitor for them. I think I mentioned that maybe at the half-year mark last year, but that is something that's very important because the retail side and the on the SMS is a big win for us, and it's an easy win. So, looking at what's been said, there are a couple of other details, and I think I will stop there. And if we could take any live questions before we have a look at what's ahead, and we conclude today's session. So if you have some live questions, please do request to speak. I will wait a few minutes, and we will go from there. Okay, so we actually don't have anybody requesting to speak right now. I'm hosting this session, and I can tell you I see no requests, which is surprising because usually we have one or two requests, but I'll keep the microphone open. I will keep the spaces open whilst we request, and I'm just reviewing the questions in the community. It's very quiet. Let's have a look. Zoli, this is a very good space. Well, Zoli, thank you very much for the kind feedback. William, when should we see UN revenue reflected on the TRP? William, that's a UN question. That's not something that I can give you the answer to today. However, I will forward that to the team and ensure that you do get an answer. Let's have a look in the different channels. If you have, we see one live request, and it's Callus Bling. Hi, Callus. How are you today? Callus, you are now a speaker.
Hey, good afternoon, Josh.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for the update. That was quite comprehensive. I got lots of notes, but not a ton of questions. But one of the things that you mentioned at the beginning was that you were, some of your minutes are prepaid and some of them are postpaid. Will Minutes Network be able to kind of demand prepaid minutes, or is your services mostly going to be on a postpaid basis?
Look, I mean, we work on prepaid and postpaid basis. It really depends on the relationship. It depends on the customer. It depends on the results of the due diligence that's performed on every interconnection and with every partner. Obviously, we appreciate when somebody allows us postpay, and obviously we appreciate when somebody prepays us, but we try not to sort of block any business with a sensible partner just because of a cash flow requirement, right? That's something that we try to avoid. Naturally, there are a lot more minutes that we could take on out there, but we sort of understand our position in the market, and we're growing rapidly as it is. So we never put ourselves in a position where we have too much cash flow tied up, and we never allow for customers to owe us too much money.
Just another question in regards to Jingle. When we see these new numbers coming up on the Explorer, will we be able to tell which sort of offer the user has accepted, or is that not information we'll see?
We look into showing that. I mean, that's definitely something that we could look into showing. There will be clear, dedicated understanding made on the Explorer in regards to the amount of revenue that has been paid, the amount of revenue that is due to be paid, where those sort of payments are coming from. I think we'll keep that as internal information, just to avoid competitors having too much understanding, and where those amounts are sort of directed to. I think you'll see anyway, because you'll see the amount of revenue that's created via Jingle, you'll see the amount of revenue that's created by traditional telco traffic.
You also mentioned a few other countries, Nigeria specifically, and it seems that Jingle will be going live in Nigeria shortly. Is there sort of a timeline we can expect for that? I didn't maybe catch that in your update.
Really, as soon as possible. There is an immense focus right now on Pakistan. I can tell you that Jingle is live in the lab in Nigeria, but it's such a small amount of users that it's really negligible at this time. We did run some campaigns in Nigeria last year with Jingle, and we did touch on those earlier in this year and towards the end of last year. But the truth is, our absolute focus will be on Pakistan, because we have such a fantastic infrastructure set up, along with the LDI that we've purchased over there with our partners. It just gives us that real competitive edge with all of the traffic on the switch. We're not, constrained by the likes of the 10% that I mentioned. We have so much access to so much traffic that we simply, we feel very confident in our ability to connect calls, even where we don't potentially have too many users. A, because they're frequent callees, and B, because we just have the vast majority of traffic with between us and our partners that goes to the country.
So maybe in terms of Jingle in Pakistan, then, what would you consider, if you're looking about a month out, like the end of April, what would you consider a success in terms of amount of users sort of onboarded?
That's a very good question. That's a really good question, and I'm smiling now. Let me not give you a number. Let's watch what we can do together. Okay, I'm expecting great things. I wouldn't be doing this otherwise. Let me not give you a number. Let's get excited by the number together as it grows. Let's host another session as soon as we hit let's choose a number and host another session as soon as we get there. But you can decide that number, okay? Let me not tell you. But I can tell you that we are expecting great things, and we are expecting massive uptake. These campaigns are not small campaigns, okay? And the partners that we're working with, they're some of the most serious telcos in the country. So, yes, I think that should say it all.
Yeah, fair enough. When you launched the new Minutes Network Explorer, we saw sort of 43,000, I think is the number of Jingle users, sort of in gold on the network. Is that sort of what is running on the lab? Like, where did that number? I know we're not seeing the actual traffic from that, but where did that number
That's
come from? That 43,000.
right. So that's the amount of users collectively that have been onboarded until this point. The traffic is that those are not necessarily frequent callees. Frequent callees are called frequent callees because they are known to receive calls extremely frequently. And we don't go for the bottom of the bucket. We work from the top down, right? So we're looking at the most frequent callees before we look at the sort of seldomly called frequent callees. And we'll be looking at both over time. But initially, we'll be going for the most, the largest frequency of frequent callees, those that receive the most calls most frequently.
Okay, so I'm just looking at my list here. It's quite a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things I can ask, but honestly, those I think are the most pertinent ones. So I actually have to jump for another meeting now, but I will talk to you guys later. So thanks very much for this update, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us, Callus. Have a lovely meeting. Thank you very much for coming up. If we have anybody else that would like to ask any questions or any team members that would like to say any words, I know that everybody's extremely busy. Half the team right now are in a meeting that I just jumped out of to join this session. And I'll continue to read any questions from the communities. I do see a question here. When Explorer Dark Mode? Believe it or not, the Explorer begun in dark mode and switched over to light mode. Now we want dark mode. I don't think it's a lot of work to add. Our developers are extremely busy. We do have a lot going on, and dark mode perhaps isn't the most commercially strategic decision that we could make at this time. But I can tell you that it will be added, William. We will get dark mode into that Explorer for you. I cannot give you a date as to when, but it will take place. Josh going on for the ATH on the update. Well, not really. I thought it was pretty cool, pretty quick. We kept it concise, we kept it short. If you would like more information on any detail that's been talked about today, I have said this before. I know the details like the back of my hand. That's a nice English saying. But in this case, I know the details better than I know the back of my hand because I haven't spent the last 15, 20 years studying the back of my hand, right? But I have spent the last 20 years studying telco. So anything you'd like to know, please come up and ask or type in the chat. Okay, let's see. Did not have a chance to listen yet. Did I miss anything? Well, I can't answer that for you. Perhaps somebody else in the group can answer that. Larizzle, we should see Jingle numbers and revenue within the next 24 hours. Yes, you'll see it start to climb. How exciting indeed. This is a big moment for us. What are the users on the Explorer? Those that have terminated calls but aren't currently. Yes, those users are users that are onboarded and are not currently receiving calls for one reason or another. That could be because the switches are not pointed towards the Jingle platform for those users, or it could be simply because those users are old, or it could be because those users have not been receiving calls at this time. There'll be a mixture of reasons as to why those users are not receiving calls now. Exactly, Val. They're not all active yet. Any updates on Samoa? That's a good question. We would need to bring Gary for the call to update you on Samoa. It's Gary's relationship that he is carrying forward. And I actually haven't had an update on Samoa for quite some time. Perhaps we'll ask Gary to bring those updates to one of the next sessions that we make. Let's have a look. I don't actually see any additional questions as it stands. I'm going to ask again. Please do feel free to request to speak if you would like to have microphone permissions. All live questions are welcome, and all questions in the community are welcome. Buyback bot has changed. Okay, buyback bot is telling it what's changed. I can't give you an answer on that right now. I told you it's random and it will do what it does. There is an algorithm. There is a certain team member responsible for that bot. I'll look into that and I will let you know. But I appreciate the feedback. Okay, the users that they got from the LDI. Mark, say from Titan, integrated could mean integrated via a number of different ways. There are multiple integration methods that are being trialed and have been trialed for Jingle. Obviously, we like to take matters into our own hands instead of waiting for large billion-dollar company third-party applications that have said yes, and we are still waiting on. If we didn't take matters into our own hands, perhaps it would take even longer than it's already sort of taken. We want to see our technology in use widely. We want to see those revenues grow. We want to grow as a carrier. This is obviously a very big personal win for me as well as the team members in the company. We're all very excited about that. We have the Froggy Llama, Jay. Hi, the Froggy Llama. How are you today? You are now a speaker.
Hey, Josh. Thank you for. Yeah, I think you guys can hear me.
Yes,
I don't know if I'm right.
Can hear you just fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So first, thank you for your continued communication. Since there's not many questions, I have one question. I guess looking towards the future, always trying to get the big picture. So let's say for the rest of 2026, things go relatively smoothly. Obviously, with running any business that's scaling technologies like yours, there's going to be some challenges. You'll overcome them, all of that stuff. But for the most part, you accomplish what you set out to do, where Jingle integration is fully, online operational scaling. Unity is, where you want it to be, and you are now positioned in the market where you have the call volume that you originally set out. I think it was 10% and all of that. Going into 27, in that type of strategic positioning, what would you look to accomplish now that you're in kind of like a freedom state you've never been before, I guess?
Right, great question. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'd like to see the voice over IP, the voice SMS data number exchange take off, and I guess that would mean utilization to a certain level in the entire industry. We'd like to see a lot of the industry partners, existing partners, and a lot of new partners come on board. Obviously, the larger the names, the better. I think we will get that pretty quickly. That will obviously drive additional revenues, additional utilization of our platforms and technologies, and it will also drive the Minutes Network's brand to a higher sort of place in the industry, right? Where we can meet more people, we can make more deals and bring on more traffic and use our innovative technologies and proprietary technologies to sort of win more revenue in this industry. That being said, we'd also like to see Jingle in, let's say, at least 10 to 20 countries before the end of the year. We'd like to see large footprints in those countries, and that's if we don't have a large application onboarded, because if we do, a lot of these applications actually can provide 40, 60, 80, 100 countries all at once, right? All at the very same time. And the reason for that is obviously because applications are used, one application might be used by the users in 100 countries, right? So applications provide a wider onboarding, but frequent callees onboarding provides us with targeted onboarding. So we need a lot less users to make potentially the same amount of revenue or more. So I think, wide adoption of our platform, of the exchange and the developer options on the exchange, retail utilization, wholesale utilization, and MVNO, and sort of the multiple tiered carriers utilization of that platform, and as large of a footprint as possible when talking about Jingle. Obviously, there are some other goals at the company as well. We'd like as many applications onboarded and in the stages of integration as possible as well. But generally, those are our immediate goals. I hope that does answer your question.
It does. It makes perfect sense. So just basically you're finishing out your positioning scaling that's going to be happening this year. And then it's not necessarily about going crazy, but really just building stickiness around yourself and your brand in a multitude of fashions between your partnerships and just the way you're approaching retail and spreading out simultaneously with the big contracts, but also the individual ones, because those adding up, not just having the revenue that you need. I mean, they'll be equitable based off the numbers, but the individual relationships you can kind of like approach with the individual target nodes, I guess, are beneficial. Yeah, thank you very much.
No, absolutely. And of course, revenue is the ultimate win, right? We'd like as much revenue with as high of a margin as possible, utilizing our technologies. But thank you very much for coming up, and thank you for your question. It's very important. Hope the answer was clear. If there are any additional follow-ups to that answer or that question, please let me know. In the meantime, Rev asked, is there a plan to keep acquiring LDIs in other areas? Yes, we are continuously acquiring infrastructure and LDIs where it makes sense. We have a total of 3 LDIs. They are not all LDIs. In some countries, it's not called an LDI. It could be under a different name, okay? But it's essentially the license to terminate international traffic. If we include our partners, I think we're up to 7 of such opportunities, including infrastructure right now, and that includes WMMN as well. So we're in a pretty cool position. We will continue to acquire such infrastructure and licenses where it makes sense strategically. Obviously, we do have a massive focus on what brings immediate revenue to our company to sort of fast track growth everywhere possible. Now, let's have a look for any additional questions before we close up. Could you please briefly touch on why the Hallo app is sort of optional or not top priority anymore? It's not really not a top priority. It's optional because we're not onboarding users, frequent callees in Pakistan under one application. We're catering for those users under an array of applications, different application types, different sort of genres and niches are being catered for because different people like different things. And we saw when testing our conversion rates that not all users react the same to each application. So we have a multitude of offerings, and we expect that array to expand over time so that we can cater for every user type. And along with the partners, we're taking advice on the marketing, and they have great marketing intel. And they're able to provide that intel to us and say, these users prefer this type of application and those users prefer that type of application. So Hallo app is very important. As I said, it also provides outbound calls, but that's not something that every user is equally interested in. I hope that answers your question. William, hope the team in Dubai are staying safe. We missed Mark. They are safe. It's pretty sad to see what's happening. Mark is working extremely hard. He obviously is due to make an appearance at a MNT event coming up. That being said, there are severe disruptions to his daily life out in Dubai right now. Progress is not stunted. Progress is okay. There is obviously there are members of the team globally of the MNT team, and he has a wide range of support. He's actually scheduled to potentially leave Dubai for some time in the near future as well if things don't calm down. So we're supporting him where we can. Of course, we hope that everybody in Dubai is safe. We love Dubai, and yes, thank you very much for the kind words, William. So, if we don't have any additional questions, I think we'll end and conclude today's session after I make a couple of notes on what's ahead. So, if anybody else would like to ask anything, or anybody else would like to come up on the stage and sort of, have any interaction, you're more than welcome. Just interrupt me here and we'll accept you. Forward looking, Telco Exchange, definitely Q2. Jingle wider rollout, definitely Q2. Demonstration upgrade, Q2. The call center traffic dialer on the exchange, again, that will be launched in Q2. Data transit and numbering, number plans and DIDs, etc., whether it's retail or wholesale, we'll see those in Q2 as well. The cloud switch and the full API for voice, SMS, numbers, and data, as well as the SIM gateway detection and fraud toolkit will be on Mintest and the exchange publicly during Q2, and we hope to see those in April. The Minutes Network retail application, that will be Q2 as well. Updated Explorer, with more insight. That will definitely be Q2. Website relaunch. I think we'll see that tomorrow, perhaps maybe the next day, as soon as possible. It is ready. It's under QA and legal review as we speak. The Liberia National Platform integration, that'll be Q2. Expansion in the Philippines, Albania, Bangladesh, Mexico, Jamaica, Nigeria, whether it's traditional traffic or whether we are lucky enough to have a major push in Jingle as well as Pakistan, that will be Q2 as well. So we can definitely expect those numbers to ramp up in preparation for what's ahead. Hyperscaling to additional countries. I know that we will make Jamaica appear and Albania and Nigeria in Q2 as well. But we do have an immense focus on Pakistan due to the license that we hold out there and our position with the partners. Obviously, with up to 3 million minutes a day, I mean, the value of this strategic opportunity is immense, right? So let's focus on, taking value, bringing it home. That is the first focus. We don't just want to see large numbers. We want to see that value brought home as well. AI compatible carrier grade development and routing that'll be integrated into the exchange. Can't tell you if that will be sufficiently QA'd for launch or not, but it will definitely be out in Q2. Look, the foundation's built, right? The traffic's live, and now we scale. We scale traffic, we scale revenue, we scale the abilities, and we scale the offering. So to close out, Matthew, if you have any final comments, team, if you'd like to speak, if you have time, or anybody else from the audience, if you'd like to speak. I think the next communications date will be in around 30 days' time, and we'll look at the month past. Very exciting event indeed, I'm sure. The roadmap has been updated and is available at milestones.minutesnetwork.io. And look, we appreciate the partners, we appreciate the communities, we appreciate the involvement, we appreciate your backing. We have gratitude and thank you very much wherever you are in the world. We wish you a lovely day, morning, evening, night, or we wish you a lovely week ahead as well. So I can see that we have Jamie requesting to speak. Let's see. Hi, Jamie. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Josh. And what a fantastic update! I loved the question earlier, and I heard words like positioning and brand, and it triggered me. And I really wanted to speak. I love seeing a sea of yellow amongst the magenta and the purple. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for letting me contribute. I just thought it'd be an opportunity to provide a quick marketing side view of what we've been doing over Q1, and more importantly, how we've been positioning Minutes Network as everything starts to scale. And so, stepping back a bit, Q1 has really been about shifting the narrative. We're no longer talking about Minutes Network as just another telecom infrastructure provider. What we've been consistently communicating is that this is now an intelligent network, a data-driven system, and ultimately a new coordination layer for global communications. The biggest focus from a messaging standpoint, as you know, has been Jingle, and specifically helping people understand why it matters. And so what we've been showing, particularly with Pakistan, is the beginning of a structural shift. And as Josh has pointed out, right, before its traffic comes in, margins get shared across multiple intermediaries. Now, calls terminate directly on our network, we capture full margin, and that value stays inside the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And we're providing better audio quality at the same time, right? Because it's only half PSTN and it's half digital. So what a win-win situation for everybody involved. And naturally, the ACD of the calls will also increase and the ASR will increase because we're able to connect those calls at a much sort of better connection quality. Thank you very much, Jamie. Appreciate your input. We do have a additional question from Val. Mickey mentioned today something about a privacy communicator app on WM. Is that by any means connected through Minutes Communicator? We've talked about before, or is it unrelated? Look, the Minutes Communicator is ready. It's in QA. It looks amazing. There are functions that are being used by MNT as well, and by WM, as well as the Minutes Communicator using functionality provided by WM themselves too. So it's not related. What Mickey's talking about is something brand new. It's WM driven and WM created, and it's really exciting. I personally have played with it, and I recommend that you do sign up as a beta tester for his test that he's offering. It's really cool, and I think it's game changing as well. More than cool, it's also using modern technologies to the best of their ability, in my opinion, and it really showcases some of the ability at WM. So I hope that answers your question, Val. Didn't want to leave you out there, and I hope everybody's found the AMA or the event informative, and I hope we've covered all of the topics from Q1. If anything has indeed been missed, please do let me know, and we will cover it in the next event in 30 days' time. Thank you very much again. Wishing you a lovely rest of your day, and we will look forward to the next one. And as Mickey always says, over but not out.